What is up, guys? My name is MipZ and welcome back for yet another League of Legends video. So today we are playing none other than the sword wielding Tryndamere. And honestly, this guy is quite awesome to play, and he has basically this one play style called split pushing. And we'll go in depth today with how to actually play Tryndamere in terms of the early, mid and late game, and how to actually exploit his absolutely insane potential, especially for carrying games by himself and basically just being an absolute legend. So this is going to be really fun. I hope you guys are very much going to enjoy this one. I will not be going too much into detail with the abilities throughout this. Instead, I've left a link down below for my other video where I only focus on how the abilities work, the combos, etc. But in this one, we will only be focusing on the macro play, meaning the decision making and the different phases of the game. And I'll be using this game as kind of an example to let you guys in on my train of thought when playing this champion. Anyway, if you are new in here, then make sure to go down below, click that subscribe button, join into our awesome community. And of course, if you do want to see me live, go to twitch.tv/MipZ_live. I stream every single Friday. And if you enjoyed this one, I would greatly appreciate it if you just hit that like button for me, because it actually helps me out quite a bit. Anyway, as we're going into laning phase, we can kind of start talking a little bit about the advantages of Tryndamere and kind of the disadvantages. So first of all, he is a very simple champion to play mechanically, which makes him quite fun. We are playing against a Teemo, which is kind of an annoying thing for him, and he did kind of pick this into us. We had the first pick. Tryndamere is not an ideal thing for first picking because it's very easy to kind of predict which lane he's going and what his objective is going to be. There's a very few number of people that actually plays Tryndamere mid lane. It's not very common, and it's generally speaking not very good unless you're an absolute like beast with it. So we're gonna have kind of a hard beginning to the game here because we are pretty hard countered by the blinding effects of Teemo. And this is one of the things that Tryndamere can be able to get a little countered by. However, as soon as we reach level 6, we're actually going to start being able to beat this guy in 1v1s, and we're going to start to really snowball. So that's the overall plan. This guy needs to be very careful. We're not going to be able to help him out. All right, so what we're going to try and do here in the early game, and this is kind of what you want to be thinking about with Tryndamere, there are different types of early game. So there's the one where you're countered in terms of champions, and that is of course something like Teemo, a champ that is not ideal for you to play against, where all you kind of have to do is you kind of just have to farm up as to the best of your ability until around level 6. You want to try and keep your health up, and then you want to be looking for those all-ins once you get to level 6 and you've had a good back. And that's kind of it. In terms of playing against things that are either equal with Tryndamere or that go where Tryndamere has the advantage, then you actually want to be building up your rage fully and then going for an all-in on your target, or running up to them, hitting them with your sword, and then using your E to just back out, and continuously doing this every time your E is off cooldown. This can be extremely efficient and super annoying, especially since you have your own self-sustain with your Q. So definitely something that you want to keep in mind. But in terms of Tryndamere's pros and cons, and of course he is a simple mechanical champion that is, like, in that fashion, very easy to play. Where Tryndamere becomes hard is in terms of his decision making, and this is kind of what you need to learn, and it's one of the reasons why Tryndamere is actually a great champion to play for just about anybody, because he can teach you quite a lot about how to actually play the macro play of League of Legends. We're just gonna make sure we get some of a farm here. We're gonna try and play a bit safe because of course we don't want to die, and we're kind of in a safe spot where potentially we could fairly easy, if Viego comes up here, we can probably get off a gank. We're also running Ignite, which is going to be very useful. Anyway, he has great 1v1 potential, especially as you get later and later into the game. Then he actually outmatches most champions. There are a few that can take him in a 1v1, but generally speaking, he has so high damage, and because of his ult, his capability to just keep surviving and basically dragging a fight out, he's just extremely good at split pushing, and he has the ability to always kind of back out of a fight. And he's super slippery, can use his E over walls, etc. This is something you really want to be taking advantage of. In terms of this, he is a really good early game champion. When you're not hard countered by something like a Teemo, then you want to be trying to take, like, basically snowball the early game, try and get some poke in there, and try and make sure that you win the early game. If you don't, and you're playing against something like this, then just play a bit patiently. Like, as soon as we get this guy once, then he's not gonna have any way back, and we're gonna keep stomping him. So that's kind of the thing. You have to play it a bit patiently when you are playing against something that counters you, but it's not gonna be that much of a trouble down the road. But yeah, that's kind of all you kind of need to know about his pros. He's just an insane split pusher. He's not a very good team fighter, so generally speaking, you want to try and avoid team fights. Of course, you can join in on a team fight, but his team fighting potential is not very good. So you want to try and make sure that you create advantageous situations for your team by basically pressuring the enemy to send 1, 2, or 3 people up after you in order to hold you back from an objective. Right here, he's used blind. I can actually go in now, and we should be able to hopefully get a kill onto this guy. We also have our ult. We don't actually need to use it here, but right there you can just see that he didn't respect our potential. We had healed up quite a bit, and we were sitting on an ignite. And at this point, things are just going to start rolling for us. We have a couple of different options in terms of items that we can go for in terms of defensive. Sometimes against Teemo, especially if they have an AP mid, then I personally enjoy running something like Mercury's Threats to get that extra reduced effect on his blind, which allows us to much easier take him in 1v1s. But that's a personal acquired taste. It kind of depends what you are feeling. What we're playing against here, I don't feel like it makes a lot of sense because they don't really have that much. Anyway, we're going to be pushing this a little bit. I'm going to be backing out because I do see that they're coming in. We still have our ult, so we are able to survive this. We should definitely be. I am able to turn around here. I still have my ult though. Okay, so Vallejo doesn't want to take it, which I think is totally fine here because we don't have our ult ready, or we don't have our items. We're sitting on 2.1k gold, so going for an engage there for us would be kind of risky and could potentially be a bigger loss than a victory. So just backing out is super fine. We are probably going to be losing an armor plating over this, but it's no biggie. We are playing against a ranged champion. And here in the early game, they are a rough matchup, but we should be over it now. As I said, once we get level 6, we are going to start stomping this guy. We got the first kill on him. Our CS is equal with him, so we're kind of in a good state. So all we want to do now is we want to build up our rage. We want to get 100 rage, and then we want to be looking for an all-in. And generally speaking, against these Teemo players that just randomly fires out their blind, then look for them to like let them blind you once. As soon as they blinded you and the blind effect stops, then you engage, then you click it. That's kind of what I'm going to be looking for here. I'm going to allow him to blind me, hopefully, if he's going to go ahead and do that soon. This is actually what I want him to do. As soon as he has blinded me right there, then we have the option of going in. This is exactly what we want. So right here, it's just going to be another free kill on it. I can put down my ult for safety precaution. We didn't really need it, but I was a little scared. So for safety, we chose to use it. We can currently I don't know exactly where their jungler is. So going for this push here is a little bit risky. All right, I'm going to take one armor plating more because I feel... Okay, I see Wukong down there. So we can actually full push now. We can just full throttle on this turret. Teemo is live now, but he has to walk. So we have like 20 seconds more before he's up here. So we should be able to get a lot more out of this. So at this point, we're starting our split push very well. Can't believe I just missed that cannon. And we should be able to just go ahead, take this turret. Then Teemo should be up here. Wow, they got Quadra and bot. Nice. We should be able to just really quickly clean up this. And we're going to be backing out because Teemo's looking for us now. We don't have ult. So we're not going to be going for a turn. But this is really, really nice. We have almost 1600 gold, which is going to mean that we can build it quite a lot. We're going to be able to build a non-quiver, start going for a pickaxe. And like Teemo is at this point completely and utterly screwed if he doesn't get any help. I'm going to also build an extra long sword. And we're going to get ourselves a control ward. And personally right here, I actually think we're going to start building a Farsight ward. And the reason why I like to run this on Tryndamere is kind of a personal preference, is that once I get past the first turret here, I'll be starting to place my wards deeper into their jungle. And this just allows me to put them there without having to go there, which I personally find very, very useful. So we'll go back up and we will just kind of look for an all-in. We're going to do exactly the same as we did before. As he blinds us, we just run up here and we go for the all-in. We slow him as he tries to get away. Should still be able to get him. We do have our ult again as a safety precaution, but we really don't need it. Which means that if their jungler comes up here now, then we can literally just kill him too. One thing that can be really good with Tryndamere when pushing, and this is something that you of course do need to be cautious with, but it's actually okay to let yourself be pretty low health, because it means that you can damage down turrets faster because of your Q effect and your passive. So really make sure that you utilize this. Sometimes I let myself take a few turret shots if I know the enemies, if I have full vision on all the enemies. All right, so at this point, we'll take down this turret. We'll get ourselves a ward in here. And also I'll start putting a control ward here, meaning that I have really good vision of the top side. His red buff is coming up right around here. I see him. He's only level 6 at this point. So I can actually go ahead and contest him. Okay, so I see they are actually reacting, so I'm going to be going away. I'm just going to take this ward and then I'm going to go away. I'm going to go back up. So the objective with Tryndamere as you get into the mid to late game is basically... Oh, can we get another free one here? I'm actually... This is a bit greedy going for the flash, but... Alright, we're backing out. Use my self heal. I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to try and get out of this because I know that he can jump me in just about a second. So I need to survive for 2 seconds here. Then we can use our E. And I know I have 4 levels on him, but I'm not going to risk it. I'm too much of a shutdown at this point. We have 400 gold on us in terms of shutdown. We can go back. We can get our Kraken Slayer. So we just want to kind of snowball this. I'm not going to take any like huge risks because there's not really that much of a point in it. We might as well just play it fairly safe. So at this point, if our bot lane, they actually are backing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate down bot now. This is ideally if they go up top, or Cassidy should now move top, bot lane should go mid, and I should push down here. This is the ideal thing because this basically allows me to be the furthest away from the next objective right now, which is the rift. So I'm going to be going down here. I am going to be pushing this real quick. And this way I'm going to keep the enemy as far away from the objectives as possible. And I should be able to beat down this turret very, very quickly. So it's going to go down here. We're going to keep our farm up. But basically the idea with Tryndamere in terms of split pushing is, of course, you want to account for where the enemy is. And as soon as you know where they are, we should be able to just gonna back out of this one. There's not much point in actually chasing this. They're gonna try and turn on us, and we're actually gonna allow them. So I'm gonna try and go for as much as I can. I'm gonna back out. And this is what I mean, like Trydamere is super slippery. Even though there are two people here, my objective here was not to fight them and kill them necessarily. If I could, then great, but otherwise just using my abilities, get back out. I'm gonna be able to just hopefully kill this guy. Okay, that was a little greedy. I'm gonna definitely yeah, I'm gonna admit to that. That was a little greedy. I just thought I could go in there and take that one shot, but that was super dumb. Anyway, as I was saying, what you kind of want to be doing with Tryndamere is, generally speaking, then seeing as his only real advantage or strength is to split push, then you want to split push as far away from the next neutral objective as possible. Meaning that if the next neutral objective is Baron, then you want to be bot side and you want to be pushing there. Because it's very, very hard for the enemy team. There's very few champions that are actually able to beat Tryndamere in a 1v1. Meaning that they have to send one or they have to send 2 or 3 people down after you. And by doing so, you create an advantage situation for your team in terms of getting the neutral objective. And if they don't send it up there, well, then you literally just win the game, because you are then going to be pushing into their turrets. And yeah, as you guys could see, like generally, like Tryndamere's split pushing ability and his ability to take down turrets are absolutely, like, it's absolutely ridiculous. So right here we are going to help out just because this skirmish is just absolutely free, and this is going to allow us to actually push a little bit with our team. And you can also do that, but you want to be looking for the split pushing as much as possible. But of course, don't deny yourself from just getting some free objectives. So there are 3 down. We can definitely be pushing a little bit more. We can probably get half of the next turret down. We'll be using our E just to clear out a little bit on these minions. Right there. We're going to be half HP, which is good because we actually do more damage to this turret then. So we'll just stay at that half HP. They're not contesting it. And we also have our ult. So if they go full in, then we can definitely kill them. So, or at least contest them pretty hard. We'll take that one. Right here, I'm going to ult. We should be able to hopefully take them, which is really, really nice. You can see at this point, we're literally just smashing them. So our next objective here is that we actually want to be going back, and then we want to be taking taking the top side. So I'm going to go in here. I'm actually just going to go ahead back. We can get our quick blades, which is really, really going to help us. And like, you can just see how all the time you're kind of playing this mind game on your enemy. You're trying constantly to force them into a situation where they have to choose between losing an objective which your team is on, or defending versus you. And this is constantly what you want to be doing. But remember, don't just blindly push all the time. If you don't have vision on the enemy, if your team is not applying pressure, then waddle back a little bit, and then just go ahead and wait for them to put some pressure, and then get back up. I'm gonna try and see if I can create one of these situations. So my team here, I'm gonna also call for them to do the Drake. And what I'm gonna do in the meantime is that I'm gonna start applying pressure up here. And this of course means that if they go ahead and try to contest and take this Drake, then they will be losing a turret. And we see 2 people, 3 people down here, meaning there can tops be 1 up here. I can take any of them in a 1v1. This is completely free push for us. We're just going to start running on the other side of the turret so we can clear out these a little faster. We're going to keep this push going. There are 3 dead. Currently 3 dead, and we can just, like, literally, there's nothing they can do if they don't kind of look at us. You can just see how we're split pushing through. And this is exactly what you want to be doing on Tryndamere. At this point, they have to defend the turret. They're losing another turret, and they're actually just giving up at this point. It's just because the amount of pressure. I'm not gonna lie, or I can also see that a few of our teammates did pretty well in this game. They definitely did. But with that said, then you could see that all the time they had to kind of be like, hey, we need to be over there. Oh, wait, we're losing a turret over there. Send 2 people over there and 1 there. And then like everything falls apart from them, for them. And this is why Tryndamere is such a good champion in solo queue, is because he can make an enemy team kind of crumble. If you have to like break it down to the core of what makes or what can beat Tryndamere, really, it comes down to a solid strategy from the opposite side, from the enemy team. But this is very uncommon to have in solo queue, that people are working very coherent and understand what to prioritize and when to prioritize these things. This is exactly why like split pushing on Tryndamere and playing him is so good, because you're gonna open up so many objectives for your team. But you have to keep in mind that when you're split pushing, then don't blindly push if there's no pressure on the map. If your teammates are currently in your own base, then do not push further than you know you can get away. Then instead go into a bush, take a jungle camp, do something else productive with your time while waiting for your team to get back out on the map to try and take a Drake, or to try and push in mid lane or push in bot lane or whatever they want to do. And as soon as they do that, like you could see we did at the end, then you push. That's what you want to hit. You want to hit them where they need to evaluate, what do we want to lose? Do we want to lose Drake, or do we want to lose inhibitor? And that's what happened at the end there. Like, we were not solo carrying in terms of completely killing them and going 20-0. You don't need to on Tryndamere. All you need to do is hitting their objectives at the right time, and that's it. So yeah, I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this one. I found it very, very fun. If you enjoyed this one, found it helpful or something, then make sure to smash that like button. It would really greatly help me out. And of course, if you are not already subscribed, then go ahead, subscribe down below, click that button, join into our awesome community. And lastly, if you do want to see me live, then go to twitch.tv/MipZ_live. I stream every single Friday. But yeah, with that said, all I have left to say is stay awesome, have fun, and take it easy, guys.